Yeah, good afternoon, colleagues. My camera is not working, so unfortunately you'll not be able to see me. But my name is David Katere, and we have this once every 2 weeks, Connect Conversation. And as we, at least on the south side, at least in South Africa and Africa, kind of move out of COVID, hopefully we'll stay out. We are now just calling it Connect Conversation. And today, we're going to talk about tea, how it's formulated, how it's manufactured, and how it's marketed. But we're still in COVID times. I just wanted to show you this slide, which I generally do. We started this series of conversations on the 30th of April. We've been having them every Thursday. And when we started, then our confirmed cases were just over 5,000. And we had just over 100 people who had lost their lives. And over every 2 weeks to the T, the numbers actually doubled, as you can see, particularly around the mortality rate. And today, we are now at over 650,000 cases, 15,700 people lost their lives. However, the recovery rates, they're saying, are now at 89%, which is a good thing, because yesterday they actually announced that we are now going to level 1. But what that means, we don't know yet. Anyway, to the subject of the day. So today we want to talk about tea. And to start with, if you look at these numbers, they are staggering. They tell you just how much potential is in this simple drink that we call tea, which, by the way, is the second most consumed beverage after water. And for those of us here in South Africa, in Africa, who are chasing after cannabis billions, they're actually leaving behind probably a much easier billion, which is herbal tea billion. And that market is expected to reach $81.6 billion by 2026. And you can see how a 6% CAGR annually since 2019. Now, maybe just to bring this into focus, we are particularly interested in herbal teas. And if you look here on this graph to your left, you'll see that the demand, at least in the US, North America, of herbal teas is actually climbing, and generally much higher than that of black tea. What are those herbal teas? Those herbal teas are mostly ginger, chamomile, cinnamon, turmeric, and some blends. Now, these things are not very familiar to people who've grown up in Africa. And when you look at this, same thing, chamomile, fennel, hibiscus. I was in the shop earlier this morning just to check out their tea stand, and it's the same thing. So the issue is, where I grew up, we had Fadogia, which they called Makoni tea. We had Resurrection, we had Zumbani, and there are all sorts of other teas that you find in the African markets. I was also looking at Kenya this morning, and I was surprised when I Googled tea, and the tea that comes up is a Chinese tea, Camellia sinensis. So what it tells you is that there's a shortage, actually. The sad reality is that African herbal teas are not competing in global markets. African ingredients are not there either, maybe except rooibos, honeybush, but we have many more outside of that. And what can African entrepreneurs do to penetrate the global market? So those are some of the questions that we are going to start answering with this series of herbal teas. So today is really a short webinar, but we want to actually come to set up a workshop. And so I am delighted to introduce my two speakers today, and between them, I think they have over maybe 100 years of experience in this industry. So Trish Flaster is Executive Director at Botanical Liaisons, and she's joining us from Boulder, Colorado. Thank you very much, Trish. And Josef Brinckmann has woken up nice and early. He's in California, and he's Research Fellow at Traditional Medicinals. In a sense, we thank the lockdown for actually having these people with us, because they're very busy people and they're running around all the time. But with that, I'd like to hand over to Trish and Josef, and I hope that we all have fun and enjoy this session. Thank you. Trish, over to you.